Good morning, YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me for another edition of the Monday Morning Football Hangover. I'm Troy West, of course, as you're watching the Solid Sports and Gaming channel. Like I said, I always want to thank everybody for the support. Um, Hope everybody enjoyed their work week. It's another Monday and another crazy week in the NFL as some teams made their mark and some teams took some steps back again. Um, let's start with the early games yesterday. Um, as we start with the AFC North, starting to get interesting there. Steelers win as they beat the Cleveland Browns. This time, didn't need overtime as they beat the Browns yesterday. Steelers offense really looked like it's starting to turn the corner. Another big game for James Conner, who's filling in for Le'Veon Bell as well. As Antonio Brown also had two touchdowns yesterday as the Steelers. I think now is in first place alone in the North. Cincinnati bounced back and they win in a close one. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Fitzpatrick, is he's back. The Fitzmagic's back. They benched Winston and they made a furious comeback. But Cincinnati was able to pull it out on a last second field goal. Um, Ravens, very disappointing loss yesterday to the Carolina Panthers. Never was really in the game at all. Like I said, the offense has been real inconsistent of late. Um, Defense was on the field too much. Cam Newton did his thing though, with a big game for him. Um, but the Ravens, me being from Baltimore, being a Ravens fan, I guess I have to expound on it. Flacco don't look motivated. Like I said, when he's motivated, he plays well. When he's not, he plays like he did yesterday. Especially two silly interceptions. The first one, when I think he tried to throw it out of bounds, but you got to really throw it out of bounds. He just lobbed it up there. That got intercepted. Um, then the one where everybody knows Carolina was blitzing. No changes at the line of scrimmage or nothing. He just runs the play, try to force one in. So I think it was Brown, but it got picked off once again. No, it was to Snead. Excuse me. Snead was to the receiver, and they got picked off. Carolina, I believe they scored 13 points off turnover. That was pretty much the difference of the game right there. Very disappointing loss for the Ravens. So now they 4-4. Um, Talked to a few people about it. They was like, well, trying to move on from Flacco, and I think it is at least starting to think about it. Um, you see, uh, Lamar Jackson come in to get some burn yesterday. I mean, it was playing soft defense, but he looks more comfortable than he did, let's say, in the preseason. But he's still not ready to start yet. And RG3 been on the bench all year, so I don't think it's time to make a move right this second. Still have an outside shot for the playoffs. See what they do against Pittsburgh next week. Then you get the bye. They lose this game though. It's gonna be tough for them to get in the playoffs. But a disappointing loss, nevertheless. Let's stay with the North with the NFC. Carolina big win. Um, the Saints won Sunday night, which was an impressive win on the road against Minnesota. Get a little bit of revenge from last year's playoff game. Atlanta, I think, is off this week. And of course, I mentioned Tampa losing, so they're now 3-4. But it looked like Carolina and New Orleans is set up for a thrilling second half of the year to see who will win the division there in the North. Um, Other late early games yesterday, well, the real early game, um, the Philadelphia Eagles bounced back. Let's go to the NFC East and the AFC South, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Um, Another disappointing loss. They played a lot better yesterday, but still got the loss. Eagles trying to bounce back, but Washington Redskins with a big win against the New York Giants yesterday. Um, they're now 5-2. They now lead that division. Dallas is off this week, um, and of course I just mentioned the Giants. They now 1-7. They're done. No point to talk about the Giants anymore. A lot of talk about Eli. What they should do, this, and that. Thinking they trade him this week. Trade deadline is this week. We'll see what they do in the off season. But look like they're gonna make a move, either now or definitely after the season on Eli Manning. So we'll see with that. Redskins, like I said, real impressive with Adrian Peterson turns back the clock. Still got some game left in him, as you see there. Big game yesterday for him. Redskins, pretty much old school. They don't, Alex Smith. You already know what you're gonna get for him, but he wins ball games. Like I said before, Washington was a sleeper team this year. Um, but they got a nice running game. The defense is pretty stout. So Redskins, at least for this division, are definitely a contender now. You can't dismiss them. Philadelphia still has some work to do. I still think they're a little inconsistent on both sides of the ball, but they look like they starting to get better. Carson Wentz to me looks okay. Despite coming off that injury, I think it's just a little inconsistency. It's got to shake out the rest. I think a little bit, and on the defensive side of the ball, just got to get more consistent. But the Eagles, still pretty much in the division, only a game behind Washington at 4-3. Giants, like I said, are done, and Dallas being off this week. Um, we'll see how they do when they come back off their bye, but definitely the Redskins definitely in control of that division. In the AFC South, of course, Jacksonville losing. They're now 3-5. Definitely a disappointing year for them so far. Houston won Thursday night, so they 5-3, still in the lead. The Colts won over the Oakland Raiders, but they still only 2-5. So um, not much to think about there. But other than that, that division, I think Houston is definitely in the driver's seat there. Tennessee, I think, is off this week. They didn't play. Um, as we stay with the AFC West, Kansas City, another big win. Even though to me they sort of struggled near the end of the game, let Denver hang around, but Patrick Mahomes, another monster game for him. They go to 7-1. Um, but in the West, still who we got? San Diego, they was off. I mean, LA. I'm gonna keep making the mistake. The Chargers was off this week. Um, then the Raiders, of course, they lost. They're done. That's another team that's done. They looking forward to Vegas. I don't think they're going to be competitive while they in Oakland anymore. By trading away Cooper and other assets. So, um, let's see. And Denver, of course, they just lost again, so they pretty much ain't gonna go nowhere. Um, AFC East, of course, big game tonight. Um, Patriots and Bills. Jets lost to the Bears yesterday. Um, and then the big game of the late games at the 4 o'clock window, Rams and Packers. That was a good game. Packers pretty much blew the game on the kickoff, fumbling it inside Rams territory. I mean, their own territory, excuse me. The Rams was able to just clock the ball. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I was mad that Gurley did. I didn't see it, but I heard that he could have scored. That would have helped me because now I'm barely hanging on to the league going into the nice game in fantasy. That would have helped. That probably would have sealed the win for me if he would have scored. But I understand. I'm not or hate the man or nothing. He's been a cowbell for me all year, so I ain't gonna criticize him for that. Big win for the Rams though, but you can see little holes in them. They still undefeated 8-0, but they can be beat. But they beaten all the contenders so far. They beat Minnesota, who was supposed to be a contender. They beat Green Bay. They play New Orleans, so we'll see uh, where they fall. Um, and what would they lose? They play Kansas City in a couple of weeks as well. So the Rams will be tested the next couple of weeks, and they pretty much in control in that division. Um, other division I haven't touched on. I think I touched on them all. NFC East, NFC South, the North. Yeah, I didn't really touch on the North yet. Green Bay would have been a big win for them, but Minnesota did lose as well. So Bears won, so it's pretty much bunched up. Detroit, even though they lost to Seattle, they still got an outside shot. So that division, I think it's gonna come down to the end as well. It's all 14 still alive there. I covered the South, I covered the East, I covered the North and the AFC. The East, the Jets, of course, losing again, but like I said, they rebuilded. Bills and Patriots play tonight. I think Miami, well, they lost to Houston Thursday night, so Miami, I think, is pretty much irrelevant now. I knew they was a fraud when they started. Even though they got injuries, I give them that excuse, but never thought they was going to be a contender anyway. And then the South, like I said, Houston in control of the AFC South. And the North is getting interesting. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh starting to make their marks, and then the West, Kansas City pretty much still in control. So, um, but like I said, big game. Uh, big game. Sunday night, like I said, Saints win was big. And I think they had control of their division as well. But only thing I'm looking forward tonight is I think New England probably blow out Buffalo, but just hope Buffalo scores some points to keep that. I'm playing against the Patriots defense, so I'm up by 5 points. So I just gotta get them to get less than five, and I win. I'm up by 5.1 points to be exact. So if the Bills score a little bit of points on that New England defense, and they don't turn it over, which this guy this week I thought this will be an easy one, but he pushed me. So I'm on pins and needles. I hope the Bills at least score. So I needed to be a shootout tonight, honestly, for me to win this week. If I don't, I'll be even at 4-4 myself going into the next week. So I need this win. All right, so that's it for football. But I know this is the football hangover, but I'm gonna talk about the and congratulate the Boston Red Sox. Sometimes I'm not always right, people. I did think Boston will get this far. I thought they would probably be a wild card team for one. They won the division. They won 108 games in the regular season. They blow through the playoffs, um, beating the Yankees in four, beating the Houston in five, and beating the Dodgers in five as well. Pretty much never was a doubt that they was gonna lose any of these series. Steve Fish got MVP, and I think he deserves it. He had a good series, but David Price is the person to me that stood out. If without him playing well, they wouldn't have got this far. Because I said that one thing I was right about the Red Sox, he had to play well. He didn't play well in the Yankee series. His only start, he only lasted 2 innings, I believe. But then Boston sort of bailed him out of that series. In the Houston series, he was big, winning his first start and coming in a couple of reliefs a couple of times, and in the World Series as well, especially this game to clinch it. Um, I would have personally gave him MVP probably because I didn't expect him to do what he did, even though Steve Fish deserved it. But I wouldn't have mind if Price would have got it, or at least a share of it or something, if that was possible. So shout out to David Price. He proved me wrong. Um, and I like him. I've been a fan of his since he was in Tampa. So I was hoping he would turn it around, and he did. And the Red Sox are your champions. 2018, of course, they won it at 13. '07 and '04 was the famous team that came back from 3-0 to beat the New York Yankees. So congratulations to the Boston Red Sox. So that means the baseball season is over. And my blog, of course, Wednesday, we got Raiders and 49ers this week. So probably be a short um, blog this week. Both teams only 1-6, I believe. Both teams lost yesterday again. Um, and with my pace game picks, I did go 11 and I'm 11-2 right now. I could go 12-2 if New England wins tonight. Um, but I want to say congratulations to Boston Red Sox. Also, with the touch on Tyrell Lue getting fired with the Cavaliers. Um, I don't agree with it. To be honest with you, I think he should have got at least this season. He is off to a bad start, I understand it, and he did sort of go against management with the rotations and stuff. But I think he deserved what he done. Even though you had LeBron, and he probably would have didn't have to do much. At least people think so. But still, managing a player of that caliber, um, you gotta have stuff. You gotta know something what you're doing. So I think he should at least to that All Star break at least. But just 6 games in, even though they 0-6, I think he should have got more time. But hopefully he find a job somewhere. But I was just shocked by that move, despite the slow start. Um, and also, of course, everybody know the news about the daily shooting in Pittsburgh at the synagogue, the Jewish synagogue. So thoughts about my thoughts about those people. Senseless violence is going on in this country. I think this morning it was another school shooting as well in North Carolina. They don't have a lot of details about that. I don't think a lot of people got hurt with that, but still, like the shootings are just happening. The violence has to stop. Um, the hate has to stop. So I just hope people encourage people to do whatever your thoughts are. You know you you have your right to have your thoughts, but to put it into violence and shooting people and hurting people just because you don't like what they do or don't agree with their religion or what they do or who they are, it's ridiculous and it's cowardly. That guy was a coward, and anybody else that do it, they're cowards. So, and you gotta thank your lucky stars, man, because you could just be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and somebody just decides to just shoot up everyone. So, definitely, I encourage peace all the time. I talk about it all the time when I get a chance. So, just look after each other, man, and like I said, look out for your fellow man. I mean, it sounds so simple, but it's not. People just their mindset. I just don't comprehend it. You know what I mean? Like if you don't agree with somebody, just don't don't associate yourself with that person. Why you have to go to violence or call them slurs or whatever? You know what I mean? Just you have your right to feel the way you feel, but I think you go too far with violence and saying things to people. So I just hope and hope that it stops. And my thoughts are with those people in Pittsburgh, and it's gonna be tough. It's class act by the Steelers and all the pro teams in Pittsburgh, even the Pirates, which during the off season they even had some stuff to say. So um, hopefully that community can heal. And my thoughts with those people and anybody who has been affected by anybody with the Jewish faith as well, because I know some people of that faith because I used to work um, for some, and they're good people. So it's just terrible why things happen in the world sometimes. But that's all. Thank everybody for all the support. Like I said, this nobody came and joined me live, but this will be up on the channel. It's a playlist for it. Every week of the NFL season, I'll do this. Um, then two more blogs this week, Wednesday, Thursday Night Football Edition, Raiders and 49ers. And Saturday, our normal blog, we'll talk more about the NBA. Like I said, the baseball season is over. I talk more about the World Series this week. And, of course, NFL Week 9 will be upon us as well. Just thanks everybody so much. Check out the rest of my projects, my video game playthroughs. I've been trying to do some Spider-Man and Mega Man 11. I almost finished them both. And with the Spider-Man, of course, the DLC, the City That Never Sleeps DLC, I'm trying to finish the normal stories so I won't spoil myself and people that's been following it. So, trying to hurry up and get that done so we can move on to the DLC. Um, Nothing new on the horizon that I'm looking at. Maybe NBA Live. That'd probably be the next newest game I play. I'm gonna go back to the retro series with Mega Man X and also God of War and Call of Duty Black Ops. I'm loving the Black Ops right now. It's been getting mixed reviews, but I'm loving it right now. Maybe because I've been playing pretty good at it so far. They are my projects. Check them all out. Um, and I thank you guys so much for the support. I'm Troy West. Again, increase the peace. Try to love your fellow man. Love each other. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much. I see you Wednesday on the blog. And I have some videos up in my video game playthroughs, so check those out as well. Thanks so much. Talk to you guys next time. I'm Troy West. Enjoy your week, and I'll see you Wednesday.